Hey yo everybody, welcome back to Tavian's World of Reptiles. I hope you all are having a fantastic day. As you can see, we are covered in snow here in Oregon, and it is absolutely beautiful. You've probably already seen the video I uploaded of Kovu. He was having a great time. He is not objected to the snow at all. We're not going to do our whole video outside, but I just wanted to share this because I absolutely love it. It's just stunning out here. It's just so bright, and I absolutely love it. So I'm going to go back inside here in a little bit and warm myself up. Speaking of warming up, today's video is going to be all about providing heat for our snakes and how to do so safely, what products there are to use, what people suggest and what people do not suggest, and how to do everything safely, as I said, because we all care about our snakes. We want them to be happy and healthy and warm safely. So I'm going to go back in and get warmed up, and then we'll get straight to it. So I am back inside, and I am nice, comfortable, and warm. And now I'm ready to talk to you guys about how to make sure your snake is also nice, comfortable, and warm. So let's get started. One of the very first methods I want to talk to you guys about is not as commonly used as the other two methods, but it is used, and so we're going to talk about it. And that is using a basking light. Plenty of people choose to use a basking light where they set up a basking area or basking rock where the snake can come and lay on this area and get warm and then go on about its business when it no longer needs to be there. The basking light is typically placed on the top of the enclosure where it shines down onto this basking area that has been provided for the snake. Some people will choose to place their basking light on the inside of their enclosure, but when doing this, a precaution is taken and a guard is placed over the light to make sure that the snake does not come into direct contact with the light and burn itself. I personally do not like to use basking lights for my snakes, mostly because most of my snakes have high humidity requirements, and basking lights really tend to suck the humidity right out of the air, and so are not really ideal for enclosures that actually have higher humidity requirements. It's not to say that this is something you can't do, it's just a personal choice of my own. Definitely give it a try if that's something that you would like to try out. The next method I want to talk about is a little bit more commonly used than that one, and that is using a ceramic heat bulb or a radiating heat panel. When it comes to these two options, ceramic heat bulbs might be a little bit better in smaller enclosures as opposed to larger enclosures because they don't actually put off so much heat that they would actually be able to heat a larger enclosure. If you have a large enclosure, a radiating heat panel would work better for you as it actually comes in multiple different sizes, and so you can find one that's about this size or a little bit longer and gives you more range to heat your area. Both of these work really great when it comes to providing hot spots for your snakes, but it also works really good to bring up the ambient heat inside of the enclosure. The next option is probably one of the most commonly used choices when it comes to providing heat for your snakes, and that is a heating pad. Now there are various different heating pads out there to be used. You kind of want to choose one that works best for you, also based on the size of the enclosure that you want. So heating pads are usually placed on the bottom of the enclosure. They usually take up about a third of the enclosure on the bottom, so it provides your snakes enough space to be able to thermoregulate, meaning to move from one end of the enclosure where it is cooler to the other side where it is warmer and back if it needs to. Thing that you have to consider if you're thinking about these last two options, meaning the radiating heat panel or the heating pads, also known as under tank heaters, is you absolutely must have a thermostat. These heating items get extremely hot. Heating pads can get well over 150 degrees. Same with the radiating heat panels, and your snakes can and will get burned on these if you do not have a thermostat. You can find multiple different thermostats out there. You can find extremely high quality, pretty expensive thermostats out there, and you can also find very cheap but very efficient and actually functioning thermostats out there. There are various different opinions on those cheaper thermostats. There are plenty of people who say if you're not going to get a proper expensive thermostat, then you shouldn't get the snake at all. There are a lot of people who get away just fine using these cheaper thermostats. I personally use a lot of cheaper thermostats on my enclosures because that just works better for my budget, and I've not yet had a problem with them. Something else to have on hand if you're going to use these regardless is a temp gun so that you can regularly go behind and check the temps and make sure that everything is functioning well. So that's just about it, everybody. I will do a video that goes more into depth about thermostats, because I definitely think it definitely needs a solid video all its own to talk about it and why they're so important and how they work. Oh, you know what? I almost forgot. You know, there are some people who use ambient temps to provide heat to their snakes, meaning they don't really have a light or a heating pad or a radiating heat panel or anything. They literally just have a reptile room that they will keep at a solid, like, 80, 85, or whatever degree that they need for the snakes that they're keeping in that space, and then that seems to work out just fine for them. I've thought about it, and I've looked into it. I'm still looking into it. There are multiple different opinions on it. There are some people who say it works great, some people who say that's a bad idea because snakes need those just a little bit higher temps for basking, like a hot spot, to properly digest. But again, it's all a matter of opinion. But yeah. So you guys have your options out there. It's really up to you to choose what works best for you. There's going to be a lot of opinions out there. A lot of people who are going to be against whatever you choose to use. So just know that it's about what works for you and what works for your reptiles. So I think that's about it. I think I've covered everything. If I missed something, go ahead and put it in the comments. People need to know about it. And later on in my YouTube career, I'll probably definitely loop back around and do another one of these, and, you know, update it on whatever has been put in the comments. So, yes, put all the information you want and think is important in the comments so that new beginners and anybody else who just feel like they need to know this information can find it. Alright, everybody, this is TWR. I am out of here. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my snow day. You probably already saw the video of Kovu, and if so, great. If not, check it out. And alright, everybody, you take care. TWR is out. Love yourselves, love your reptiles, and you guys keep spreading those herbs.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face, tell me that you love me.